Proceed to a group interview session where we will take place in the rooms behind you. That side. Everybody good? Anybody lost yet? Not yet? Very good. Where was I? Three. The leading channel for entertainment hit series that connects history with viewers in an informative and fascinating way. It chronicles the daily activities of the famous gold and silver pawn shop, a family-run business by the three generation of men. I'm sure you watch the show and you watch it just now, you see the three generations of the Harrison's family. Richard, aka the old man, Rick, Corey, and also not forgetting the pal, Chumley. It's enjoyable, educational, entertaining, and just great fun. Which is why we're going to show you this little clip of the Pawn Star. Who's the best negotiator among you? You?
Yes,
okay, let me ask Corey. Corey, who's the best negotiator? The old man or Rick?
Well, I mean, I negotiated myself up from minimum wage to being an owner, so I'm going to have to say me.
You are the best negotiator. Is that right, sir?
Yeah, I never going to convince him otherwise, so.
What do you think about Asia so far? Is this your first trip to Asia?
First trip to Asia, I find it absolutely amazing. Everyone has been absolutely wonderful. Haven't seen much of Kuala Lumpur yet, but I'm hoping to do that later today and tomorrow.
What have you heard about Kuala Lumpur?
So far, I really haven't seen it. I mean, we literally landed. We got a really nice airport.
Oh, okay. Would you like to buy it?
What?
Okay. You left the old man and Chumley back in Vegas to run the shop.
And then Chumley went on vacation.
You really?
Yeah.
So
it's just my dad there right now.
last time I called the pawn shop, I heard construction going on in the background. So I don't know what the old man's doing. He won't tell us.
What are you expecting, man? What do you think you're going to see when you get back?
I mean, every single time we're gone for a few weeks, he does something to the store. He'll change the showcases and everything like that, because he'll want to do something to the store, and we'll tell him no, and he'll just wait till we're out of town.
Yeah. Are they bummed out that you guys are in Asia having fun?
You know, the old man was in the Navy for a long time, and yeah, he just doesn't ever want to travel anywhere.
Yeah. No?
And Chumley, he wishes he could be here, but he had he had to do so.
Yeah. So who would you be nervous running the shop for? The old man or Chumley?
6 in one hand, half dozen in the other.
Yeah. No, what you don't see on television is I have 63 employees at the pawn shop.
Oh.
Okay. So there's a lot more people there to take care of things than just my dad and Chumley. So usually when we're out of town, they're just not really allowed to do anything.
63? Which thought just the four of you guys?
No, 63 people there. We get 5,000 people a day in the pawn shop.
5,000?
Some days there's up to a 3 or 4 hour wait to get into the pawn shop.
Oh wow, okay.
So it's a lot bigger when you go to Vegas.
Yeah.
You don't expect to just go in there. It's a very big operation.
Do you guys get nervous? I mean, there's 5,000 people coming in, 5,000 stuff that they have. Do you get nervous at what they're going to bring in? Stuff that you don't know about?
No, I mean, it happens a lot on the television show. What happens is people come in, they walk up, they put it in front of me, all the cameras are rolling, and I go, I have no idea.
How many times a day do we do that?
It happens a couple times a week. Those never go to TV.
Yeah. Oh my goodness, okay. Is it tough though, working with family?
I say this all the time, the greatest thing about my job is working with my family, and the worst thing about my job is working with my family.
Corey, let me ask you that question, okay? Well, is it tough working with dad or the old man? Tougher?
Both, because I got to wait for someone to die to move up. It's not like one day he's going to say, I'm going to promote you to being my boss.
So it is pretty tough.
It can be tough sometimes.
Okay. What was the coolest thing that you have come through the shop?
That's a tough one. I mean, I've had so much cool stuff over the years.
Yeah.
I mean, I have Evel Knievel's driver's license.
No. Whoa.
Yeah. We have Olympic medals in the shop.
Do you use it? Let's say you get on a bike. I'm sure you have Eagle Knievel's outfit. You ride a bike down and says, hey, I'm Eagle Knievel, fill my tank up. You should get free patrol or something.
Actually, it's his ID card because they took his driver's license away. Oh. So it's Eagle Knievel's ID card for Florida.
Okay.
We have Olympic medals. We have a World Cup medal.
Ooh.
We have Super Bowl rings for U.S. football.
Yeah.
We have so many neat things. It's just not one.
Okay. I watched the show, and I'm a bit of a collector myself. Some of the stuff that you sell, I'm like, please don't sell that. Please. Do you have that feeling sometimes you just want to keep it?
You know, I have a problem where it seems almost every motorcycle that comes into the pawn shop ends up in my garage. I tell my wife they're all for sale, but
yeah,
it's funny, I've never put a price tag on one of them. So.
You and I are the same as well. It's the same thing for the wife. Do you discount the stuff when you tell the wife the price? Let's say you bought it for 20K. Do you go home and say, oh honey, it's just 9K, 5K?
No, I never do that at all, man.
I feel you. Okay, we've brought some stuff for you to value.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Leah, do we have? Yes. Okay. We have something from Leah for you to value. Here you go. Here's Leah. Is that the thing, or are you just paying them for? Thank you for coming to Malaysia.
My aunt found this. It belonged to my grandmother, and I think she got it back when the Japanese were in Malaya when they ruled. So I think this was the money that they gave out to the civilians. But it's, I mean, you can't convert it at the currency exchange. So I'm just wondering how much it's worth, or it's just a piece of paper.
Yeah, fortunately they lost the war, and it's $1,000, which if you look on the front of it, it actually doesn't say it's $1,000. It's the promise to pay you $1,000 at a later time. This one right here is later in the war. This was probably 1944, 1945. And the reason they were printing $1,000 notes instead of like $1 or $2 notes is the massive inflation they had already caused by printing so much money. And at this point, everyone knew that Japan was on the run and were most likely going to lose, and no one wanted the money. So there was a lot of inflation. You know, this would not have bought a loaf of bread at the time. And so they printed a lot of these. This one is in incredibly good shape. Most of them are just tattered and ruined because most people didn't keep them, which makes it worth a whole $40 or $50, which is a lot for occupation money. Most of it's worthless. This is one of the cooler ones.
What would you pay for it?
20 bucks.
20 bucks? 20 bucks? Selling it for 20 bucks?
Thanks for bringing it by, though.
Corey, can you write them up? Is that what you say? Right? Do the paperwork. Do the paperwork. Okay. I've got something of my own that I want you to value.
Okay.
Is that okay? It's a watch. Okay.
Well, that's pretty obvious. All right.
Thank you very much.
All right. You have a Jack Arlock Ultra watch.
Yes.
Pretty neat. The company's been around for 180 years.
The company's been around for 180. Okay.
They got really famous. What they're most famous for is the reverso watches. Those are the watches where you can flip around and it's another watch, or it's no watch at all.
Yeah.
And they're Atomos clocks. They make clocks that run forever.
Yes, that's right.
This one right here, I don't have any tools with me. I don't have a loop with me. I'm assuming it's gold.
That's what the shop told me.
Huh?
That's what the shop told me. They said it was gold.
If you take a pocket knife, it'll pop. The back will pop right off, and it'll tell you inside the back if it's gold or not.
Oh, okay.
But I don't have anything here to do that. I'm assuming it's gold. It's probably 1950s. This is the style.
Yeah.
Maybe even later. Might be the 30s. Not a lot of these were made during the 1940s. It's just because the whole World War II thing popped up.
Okay.
The more I look at it, the more I think it's 1930s. It's just the way the lugs are on the side that's really hard to know. This was like early in the watches. Actually, at Hollywood.
Yeah.
They had to. Most men in the world would not wear a pocket watch, a wristwatch back then. They thought it was effeminate.
Really?
So they started paying all the actors in Hollywood to wear them.
Okay.
And then within 2 years after all the actors wearing wristwatches, every man in the world wanted one. That's what made them cool. But this is probably mid-30s. The more I look at it, it looks more mid-30s. And it's probably worth around $700 or $800 in the States.
Let's see.
You,
Paid more for it. I'm not paid a lot more for it.
it's a tough sell. I mean, one of the problems you have with this thing,
Yeah.
the face is in really bad condition.
And also remember, man, different countries, different markets.
That's
I
true.
mean, in the States, everybody wants big, giant, clunky watches. I can't get the thin dress watches away.
Yeah, yeah. I saw that after I bought this, I went on the net and I saw the price it was in the States. So I told my wife that it cost $700 in the States. I didn't tell her how much I paid for it though. $5,000. I know, stupid rap Budiey. Yeah. So, yeah, when you give us the history of something, I watch the channel, right? And you give us the history of the watch, the item and all that. Is that your way of stalling? Oh, thank you very much. Is that your way of stalling and then thinking about the price and thinking where the person is at?
Well, no, what I mean, I do think I want people to know what they're doing. I mean, I really truly believe that being an extra honest businessman will get you more business. It will. No, what happens when we're filming the television show, if I just mention a few things about it, the director immediately goes, so I go, so how much you want for it? And the director will go, no, before you ask that question, more history, Rick. Because we are in history, so they want me to give a history lesson on everything.
You learn a lot of stuff on the channel as well, from the show as well, isn't it? When the stuff that comes in, you learn a lot, and you give out a lot of stuff, a lot of information for us to digest.
Yeah, we call it Laugh and Learn TV.
Yeah.
I mean, you actually learn something, you laugh a little bit, we make it fun.
Okay.
That's one of the reasons why moms come to me all the time and tell me that's the one show they love sitting down with their family and watching. It's funny, you learn a little bit, it's entertaining.
Yeah. Who's the funniest one in the show?
Chumley.
It's got to be Chum.
Chumley? Alright guys, before we let you go, I know you're going down to the paddocks to drive the Formula Renault car. Before we do that, we brought something for you. Miss Shamila Nadaraja, the COO of Sepang International Circuit, would like to bring
Worldwide and become really famous and things like that.
It seems like you know everything. You like a moving archive. Is that true?
I really am a nerd, yeah. I mean, I never watch television. I read like books every night. I read history books, I read science books, things like that every night.
What are you reading right now?
See, I'm reading the Ascent of Money. It's a history of financial systems.
What we read? I didn't read it.
I don't know, just good. I mean, once you're an avid book reader. There's a lot of interesting books out there. Like my favorite fiction book is like The Pillars of Earth. One of my I just read the history of batteries twice. Yeah. There's a book out there, 13 Things That Do Not Make Sense. It's about scientific anomalies. Yeah.
How do you view your fame?
It's a little weird. My wife doesn't think I'm famous. It's really interesting. It's really neat sometimes. You know, I get to go around the world. I get to do things like that. But still, when I go home, I help my kids with their homework. So.
You get a lot of things in that come through your shop every day. So, how do you decide what makes the cut and what doesn't? What makes it to the show and what does
not? The bottom line is, can I make money on it? You know, it's a business about buying and selling things.
Yeah.
Can I make money on it? I'll take it as long as.
So how do you decide which one goes on air and which doesn't?
I don't get to choose any of that.
Oh, okay.
They just film me doing this. I have no control over the edit. Whatever they think is cool, they put on air.
All right.
It's a family business, so how do you demarcate what's professional and what's family and what's sentiment? How do you actually do that?
What on the television show?
Family show in the business itself.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's a family business, so I just have to we have to deal with each other, you know, right? So, one of those things. There's just like any other business, you got to deal with government regulation and things like that. We're highly regulated. Employees, it's always a pain. There's I got a family business, so I deal with my family. It's the same things with any other business. It's just tons of, it's all the little stuff that drives you crazy.
Besides one shop, do you have any other business?
Yeah. I do my finance lawsuits. I have property management. I have a clothing company. I own rentals. I own a website. My Gold and Silver has a website that's sort of like a separate business. And I have the TV show.
What do you like most about your job?
The thing I love about the job, it's different every day. I mean, you get to meet all kinds of really neat people. You get to see all kinds of neat stuff. Every day is different. It's not like working in a factory, And I enjoy it.
You've also written a book. So tell us a little bit about that. How did it all start?
The book I wrote 4 years ago. It's basically about the way how I grew up and how I come to know everything I know. I've been reading science books and history books since I was like 8 years old. And it talks about how I started the pawn shop and everything else in it. Everyone says it's a good read. It was on the New York Times bestseller list. If I had another show, I don't know. Another television show, I'd probably do something about history. Yeah. I just like to do weird things in history. There's a lot of weird things in history people don't know about. Okay. There was, you've heard of Paul Revere in the United States? You ever hear of the Boston Tea Party?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Well, the Boston Tea Party, that was all about the taxes against the British and all that right there. But what it really was is John Hancock. He was one of the signers of the Declaration of Independence. He was one of the founding fathers of the U.S. Actually, what he's doing, he was smuggling in Dutch tea. It was a lot cheaper than the British tea. But the British just reduced all the prices of the British tea. And it was cheaper than his smuggled in tea. So he dressed a bunch of people up like Indians to go throw the tea overboard. So it's because of the taxes. I mean, things like that.
I think we have time for one last question. So, last question?
How do you see yourself in, say, 10, 15 years?
On my ranch in Texas. Riding a horse, taking care of cows.
Wonderful. So, in the age of eBay, what are your thoughts on the status of pawn shop?
What's that?
In the age of eBay?
Well, there's certain things about eBay. You're never I wouldn't. People don't buy jewelry off eBay. I mean, would you buy a big diamond off eBay? Would you take a bunch of money, send it to like Hong Kong, and wait for your diamond? I mean, eBay has its place. I do sell a lot of stuff on eBay. I sell like $100,000 a month on eBay. But there's certain things people do not buy on eBay. I mean, like art, art's an impulse buy. Jewelry is usually an impulse buy. You don't want to buy. And there's also a trust issue. And as far as people selling certain stuff to me, as opposed to going on eBay, if you walk into my shop and you have something like, say, a piece of art that I'm going to offer you $5,000 for, and you say, well, I can get $10,000 on eBay, they go try. You're going to go on eBay. You're going to have 0 feedbacks, and no one's going to buy it on you.
Maybe just one last question since John.
All right. Okay. Perhaps will you continue doing Pawn Stars next seasons to come, maybe next 5 years? So is this something long term or?
I don't know. I mean, I plan on doing it for a couple more years. But like I said, 5 years, 10 years from now, I will definitely be on my ranch in Texas, not working anymore.
Okay, thanks everyone.
So can we check?
At the end of the day, I still go home to the same wife and 2 dogs, and still leave the same conscience. It might be in a Bentley as opposed to a Dodge truck. It's that stuff that's changed. When I go to a restaurant, I never have to make a reservation. So,
Yeah.
What was your first reaction when you actually found out that?
Full range of the show, what I do. I definitely paid me more and Rick less. I think we have a perfect formula. It hasn't been, the show's done well for 250 episodes in these days. I can't see a reason to change it. It's one of those things, why fix what's not broken.
In the entire process of running a pawn shop, do you also delve into a lot of studies in history or science and everything that goes well and gel together to appraise maybe like something? Do you study?
To be honest with you, my dad's been a nerd his whole life. He's read books, and since I've been around him 12 hours a day, 5 days a week, for the past almost 20 years, he would sit there and tell me about the books he read. So I'd always get the clip notes. And then once you actually start working for History Channel, you better brush up on your history.
If you were to have kids in the future, would you introduce them to the business and like keep the shop in the family?
I don't know. I would it would be a different transition than what I did. I'd make them go to college and all that stuff before just going in and working full time at 20 years old in the pawn shop. I'd want them to explore other options before the shop. I'd be open to it.
What do you want to do, like, say, 10 years? I'll probably be sitting where my dad sits, and my dad will probably be sitting where the old man sits. And probably still work at the shop. I own a few businesses right now. I own a small motorcycle shop. I've got a lot of rental properties. Yeah, me and my father we're very busy. We've got joint stuff together. Slot machines and stuff like that we do. It's never ending. I think at last count between me and my father, there's probably 30 LLCs and corporations.